backs on the board right now in their college careers, in their primes, who are you rolling with? So I'm going to start with probably the weak one out the five. And I'll start with Robert Griffin the third. Robert Griffin the third, he had 10,366 passing yards. He had 78 TDs and 17 interceptions. He had a QB rating of 158.9, completion percent 67%. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. He was the second overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. And, he rushed for 2,254 yards and 33 rushing TDs. Probably one of the more electrifying men in college football when he was in the league. Even when he was in the NFL, that first year he put on the show. Remember the Cowboy game he had in Dallas on Thanksgiving? He lit the Cowboys up. He came in the Superdome and lit the Saints up. Week 1, day 1, it wasn't even close. One of the best to do it. But sad to say, he just don't. I think a lot of people throw him down because he never came close to being on the level of a champion, just getting smashed. The next man I had would be Michael Vick, first overall pick in the 2001 NFL Draft. He threw for 3,299 passing yards, 21 TDs, 11 interceptions. He ran for 1,299 rushing yards and 17 rushing TDs in his career at Virginia Tech. Probably the more weaker one out of all of them. He was a great player over there. But once they shut Vic down in his time, Vic was done. The rest of Virginia Tech was done. He was the whole man show in Virginia Tech at the time. Now, I think the next three is where it get real. So I'm going to start with this guy, Vince Young, third pick in the 2006 draft. Some people in the Texas world, Texas would say he is the true Heisman Trophy winner because let's remember Reggie Bush got the Heisman Trophy stripped from him, and Texas will call him the Heisman Trophy winner in a degree. He threw for 6,040 passing yards, 44 TDs, 28 interceptions, a completion percentage of 61.8%, quarterback rating of 144.9. He rushed for 3,127 yards. He ran for 37 TDs in his career. Played in perhaps the greatest college football game of all time between them and USC, Texas and USC. I really think Vince, he left the program in the right hands when Colt McCoy came around. Colt McCoy got knocked out. Let's remember Colt McCoy got knocked out in that game. His senior year, I believe, against Alabama. They wound up losing that game tremendously. But he left the program with a great culture that did still stand years down the line because they got back to the championship game. They just lost in the championship game to the Alabama Crimson Tide. So he did do a lot for Texas. And just when Colt McCoy got hit, they never did shake back again. And they still trying to find answers to shake back. But I think they're on the right direction now where the Texas Longhorns are at right now. My next man would be Deshaun Watson, 12th overall pick in the 2017 draft. Dabo Swinney always said that the Heisman Trophy missed him. He didn't miss the Heisman. He threw for 10,168 passing yards, 90 TDs, 32 interceptions, a completion percentage of 67.4%, QB rating of 157.5%. He rushed for 1,934 yards, 26 rushing TDs. Clemson is still in good hands as we speak right now. They are one of the best teams in the country. They found themselves right last year in the Final Four. I think they're still going to find themselves in a great position again. So, he definitely left the program in great hands. And this is the guy I went with, Cam Newton. I didn't put his Florida stats. It was really not much of nothing. I put all his Auburn stats. In that 1 year, Cam threw for 2,854 passing yards, 30 TDs, 7 interceptions, 66.1 completion percentage, QB rating of 182. He rushed for 1,473 yards, 20 TDs. He won the Heisman. He was the first overall pick in the 2011 NFL Draft to the Carolina Panthers. Cam was so much of a monster. All year long, Cam dominated. He dominated against Alabama. Remember, they had to come back in that game and beat Alabama. He dominated all year long. He left Auburn. I mean, even though Auburn had a couple of years where they fell down, but then once again, Auburn got right back up. They went to the championship game against Florida State a few years later. They lost, but it was right back in the championship game. Even this past season, Auburn found themselves again on the cuffs from having a berth in the college football playoff if they would have won the SEC championship game. So Auburn has still got the culture ever since Cam Newton has left and went over to the NFL. But I'm very excited to see what you guys think about some of these 5 quarterbacks. I also could have put Andrew Luck, but I didn't. I forgot to put him. I could have put people like Colt McCoy. I could have put other people on this list as well. But what you guys think? Some of the better quarterbacks, since we're getting closer and closer to the college football, some of the better quarterbacks on this list or list that you have that will be that left their programs in some of the best coaches and still standing to this day. And like I said, I had to pick Cam. And I know Deshaun Watson only been 2 years gone, but I think since Cam been going more about maybe 6-7 years now, Auburn's still in a good spot in the SEC. They like in the middle of the pack of the SEC, but they can always find themselves at the later part of the year having a legit chance to make a chance for a championship run at any given time of the year. So I'm very excited to see what college football got in store for us this season. I don't know about y'all, but it's almost that time to kick it off, man. It's almost that time. So on that note, I'd like to give a big shout out to my producer, Shaq Jax. Get some more of his music up here real soon. It's officially third down. Thank y'all for listening. We went a little over today, about almost 40 minutes, but it's all right. Once again, we'll be back next week. I think we're going to start on the NFC North. Pay a little bit more attention to baseball, see what they got going on by the time next week kick off. Pay a little attention to basketball, some of the off-season stuff, but football about to start. I think training camp starting next week. Oh, also the Saints did sign Shane Vereen, because Dan Lasco did fail the physical, so we got to pay attention to that. Shane Vereen, who pretty solid player for the New York Giants a few years back. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Subscribe to Spreaker. Give me some feedback on Twitter. And we'll be back sometime, like I said, next week. And we out of here. Peace.